you guys in the holder. Sorry about that. It's just our little bit of motion sickness that we go through at the start of every single live stream. So thank you for bearing with me there. And I'm going to scooch the mat just a touch. All right. So first things first. Happy Wednesday, everybody. If you're watching this in the future, happy whatever day that it is. So it is Wine Wednesday, and I am drinking wine, and I don't know where my catalog went. That was telling me what I actually was drinking. So if you're new to the live streams, Wine Wednesday was inspired by the fact that I do love me a good glass of wine. I am not a connoisseur. I like to wine taste, test, do all the things, and I am just a baby in my wine journey. And so a lot of the wines that I am drinking, actually all of the wines I'm pretty much drinking, came from an advent calendar. Yes, I'm fully aware it's April. I'm also not the heaviest drinker in the world, so it's taken me a really long time to get through 24 miniature bottles. There's been a lot of conversation about that offline today. But this lovely wine is a white wine from La Pluma, is the kind of branch of In Good Taste Wines. I am not sponsored. I would freaking love to be, though. So if you have control over that, please hit me up, because I would really love that. Sorry, that's a nice echo. But I would absolutely love to be sponsored by them if that was a thing. Sorry, I'm getting everything set up on the side. Anywho, but this wine is from In Good Taste. La Pluma is like kind of the side brand inside of that wheelhouse. It's white wine, and apparently it comes from the coastal regions of Portugal, and is very good with seafood, fish, shellfish, cooling down like spicy sausage. The tasting notes are lime zest, white flowers, apple, and honey. And they recommended drinking it with aged cheddar cheese. So, fun fact, I'm not eating or drinking any of those things. I actually had chili leftovers, so I guess it was kind of spicy, but I wasn't drinking the wine yet, and I am 100% gonna dive into some crumble cookies at the end of this. I didn't even cut them up yet, so they're still in the fridge, but if you guys are interested in that, we can stick around for that, or we can do like a crumble cookie tasting one Wednesday maybe, or maybe we'll do a different live stream for that. Okay, I will say that I opened this bottle yesterday to eat with some pork that we grilled, and I really love it because it's about 70, it's like 70-ish in my apartment. It's kind of warm in here, but it's actually like a really nice day, and I'm enjoying it. So it's definitely white wine weather, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into these planners. I am not gonna be nearly as long-winded as last week. We are just doing flip throughs of March. Of course, I'm gonna be a little chatty. As always, I'm sure there'll be tangents and all of that good stuff. But if I am redundant in any way, let me know, because I did flip a lot of these last week talking about quarterlies, because there's no quarterly setups done in these two journals specifically at this point. But I did just kind of talk. So again, if I'm redundant in anything, let me know. We're gonna start with the fitness planner, which is a Hobonichi Weeks. It was gifted to me, and I am going to use and ride this planner until the wheels fall off. What that means is I'm gonna use every solid little tiny grid square inch that I can before I have to get a new one. I think that this is something that's going to stay in my rotation long term, whether it ends up tracking health exponentially or indefinitely was the word I was going with. Whether it tracks it indefinitely or not is irrelevant. I love the Hobonichi Weeks because it is small. It fits in my purse really easy. I would highly recommend it for someone if you're looking at tracking your budget. And that is one idea I've played with, is kind of using it as budget and health. But that's just ideas that get kicked around in my head late at night when I'm just sitting there staring at the ceiling fan. But for right now, my Hobonichi Weeks is used as a fitness planner, tracker, health, fitness, all that. And the main reason being it's super easy to tote into a doctor's office. So on the weekly side, I list things out, whether it's, and there's no stickers in this as of yet, except for the tabs. And I do anticipate that to change at some point, but just to be infinitely redundant, I am a huge supporter in using a planner for a good length of time to kind of figure out my rhythm in it before I start plopping stickers down here, there, and everywhere. That's just kind of my MO and how I choose to do things. So, like I said, I use the weekly side to make little notes. So in this, you'll see stuff like Advil Sinus. It just tells me I took it that day. I put PM for all of the supplements I took. I actually need to get back at that. And we might see it later on. I don't know. I did a run that day that, so Peyton Parrish, who is a fave in my running playlist, if you've never heard of him, check him out. If you're a Disney fan, you're gonna lose your marbles because he has a new album out called The Most Magical Album, I think. And it's rock versions, like punk rock, maybe not punk, but it's like rock versions of a bunch of Disney songs, and it's great. And so I decided, because the album was like 49 minutes and some odd seconds, I think it was 13, but close enough, I decided to run to it and see how far I could go and what my pace would be. And that was like the fastest pace I think I had up to that point. Maybe that was freaking awesome for that length of time. For a 4-mile run, that's pretty impressive. Then my other runs are located down here, and as you can see, there's like another little side workout kind of popped in here. Typically I would use this space here to write that, and you'll see that in the April flip through. This is where I chose to write the milligram of supplements, only because I had a doctor's appointment and my doctor wanted me to upgrade to 5,000 once I run out of the ones that I have. Then it's just my runs again. This is the week. Oh my God. I feel like when we go through all the flips, I'm gonna have like some PTSD for sure. So you see, neck pain is so bad, iced in the afternoon. So my neck had been bothering me. Like it felt like I'd slept on it wrong. And you know how like you can normally like kind of sleep the other direction, or kind of like put some heat on it or whatever, and you can kind of like get it back where it needs to go after a day or two. Okay, so this had now been going on for the whole weekend, and it hurt really bad. And I had been at camp with Jeff, which is a very rustic setting for any kind of injury. It's glamping is, and that's pushing it because it's still a cabin kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yes, there's running water. Yes, there's a bathroom, but I am like, just to like give you an idea, I literally went to bed fully clothed, like jeans, multiple layers, huge sweatshirt. Like I'm freezing my behind off, and I have this neck injury. So by the time Monday rolls around and we're home, I'm like, I can't even handle it anymore. And I'm almost to tears because I basically can't do anything that's gonna keep me sane. Like I couldn't journal, I couldn't do anything because I couldn't look down, because it was like my left side, like crook of that side of my neck, and like wrapped over a little bit onto my like inner shoulder blade area, I guess. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Like I said, I think I slept on it wrong. And I was almost to tears because I was in pain. I wasn't sleeping well. I couldn't journal anything about it. And I was completely overloaded at work. Like that is not a good time to have an injury. So my boss was like, hey, I have a ton of credits from COVID for Massage Envy. Do you want me to transfer you one? And normally I would be like kind of like shy about something like that and be like, no, that's okay. I literally jumped at it. I was like, I don't even freaking care. If you were offering me a necchiotomy, I would have done it at that point. I was just so tired. Despite that, I did go on a 30-minute run that morning. So I don't know what that says about me as a person and the fact that I just wanted to stay on track as best I could with workouts. But I took it, the massage helped, and I think I talk about this in another video, or at least I feel like I did. I probably talked about it in the plan with me of that week, but I felt like this woman rubbed me like she was a Viking making bread. I hurt for the rest of the week, but it was like the sore hurt that you feel if you've ever gotten a massage. And just to clarify, that was the second massage in my entire life. If you're just now hopping on and like, what the is this chick talking about massages for? This is a planner video. Just trying to give some clarity on some notes, peeps. So then we go on to like no notes. Again, with this being such a new thing, there's lots of missing parts and pieces. Like it's not something I'm consistent at. I was thinking about it today on my run that I might want to put in like a habit tracker, not necessarily in the sense of like the big long one that I do in my Kokuyo, but one to keep like, because I have a ton of those like little habit tracker stickers from back in the day. And I mean, I feel like people still make habit tracker stickers, but when they were still new and I bought 6 million of them, it would be good for me to like put in supplements in certain, like just supplements, because it's the same ones and I like pre-fill a container so it doesn't change right now. But that with like my birth control and my cholesterol medication, like those, it would just be good to have like some type of tracker. And then we went on a long nature walk at camp. Oh, now I feel like I'm all backwards. Did I go to camp after? Oh, okay. So I got that backwards. So that whole tangent was for no reason, not necessarily. The long walk at camp didn't happen until Saturday. I was just in a shit ton of pain that weekend before. And it was weird because we had a really relaxing weekend. This is super full and crazy because again, I was like, it's like I'll have a couple weeks where I'm not really great at tracking and then I'm like, oh my God, and it's happening right now and I can see it because I've been updating planners and I'm like, what was happening here? Is this empty? And I feel like once I have that like what the F is going on situation happen, I 100% like throw myself in to get, you know, back on track. And then this is where I was talking about that I use this space occasionally to do like workouts, to chart like little workouts that might be added onto a run. Oh, did I actually finally? No. I know that my rosuvastatin prescription changed, like the milligram went up, but I'm not 100% sure where that happened. And I'm kicking myself for not writing it down because it did double basically. I deleted the screen so I have no info on like my pace or anything like that. This was my 9-mile run and that actually happened on April 1st. So this is where March ends. I'm glad I caught that. So April 1st on my 9-mile run, and up until this point, that's as far as I've gone. I'm planning to do 11 miles, hopefully this weekend. But I'm a little apprehensive because my runs have not been great lately. I've been having a lot of calf issues, like soreness. And I think that it's due to the fact that my water intake has been super low. So hopefully I'll have like a couple more days consistency with that before I have to launch back into that. So that is Fitness Planner. And just to be clear, I do use the yearly area. I'm just not good at it. I'm really not. Like you'll see, so I use this to track weight right now. And then up here I'm doing measurements, but I really just not been super, even though I'm running 3 days a week and I feel like my workouts are getting better, you can't outrun a bad diet, guys. And let's be honest, I am the first one to say that my diet is not the best. It's not like I'm having like exuberantly large calorie days every time I turn around, but I'm definitely not like sugar is my enemy. I'm sitting here drinking a glass of wine telling you guys that I'm going to eat crumble cookies. So, I mean, I don't feel like I'm trying to hide anything, but by the same token, like I'm fully aware of that. Okay, so we're going to talk about March expenses really fast. I was over every single week. Now, while some of these I'm totally fine with, and you'll see like, I don't know if you will see because I don't know. So you'll see that I'll have like a total, and then I'll have like bars that say like without medical or minus a gift. And then the last and final like over is like no BS what I feel like I was over. Because I do take out things along just so that I can have some kind of perspective. And I'll take out things like Banks's stuff and gifts, medical. I think on one of them I took out the TCMC because it was, I don't think I took it out this time because it was actually the anniversary sale. But the thing that I'm trying to get a handle on is when I say that I'm over is the budget that I've created for gas, groceries, takeout, shopping. Like this is your kind of like living expenses. This does not include like Banks' stuff that's kind of random, medical stuff that's, twice a year. I would like to get to a point, and honestly, I feel like my budget tracker and my budgeting is going to go through several iterations and evolutions before it's all said and done, but I'm just trying to be more conscientious of it. One thing that I remembered the most from like Atomic Habits reading it is that by making it appealing, you do it more, and then by making it difficult, you create less appeal for it basically. And because I'm tracking everything, I feel like that has led to me not shopping as much because I don't want to have to track it, which sounds really dumb because I have to track it. I have to scan the receipt if there is one because I have like a Fetch account. So there's several, I guess, fail safes for me to try to spend less. And like on this one, because it was my birthday week and we pretty much did most of the celebrating on the 17th. Like I just spent the day at like a Ponce City Market, which is kind of like, it's an Atlanta mall-ish. I don't really shop there, I eat there. So I went to Five Daughters Bakery, I went to my favorite restaurant there, and I went to Modern Mystic, which is kind of like my witchy crystal shop. I can't talk. And then again, car and gifts. So obviously I needed to get my emissions done. I needed to have like my oil changed, and I think I had my coolant flushed. So I do pull all of those out. Win, lose, or draw, I was over every single time. And I'm not really proud of that. I can conversely say first week of April, I am doing awesome. One of my goals for quarter 3, you'll see these envelopes, is to be better prepared. I did have some emergency expenses through February and March that I kind of didn't foresee and had to get done. And I say had to. I had to get my hair done because we were doing company photos. I had to get the car stuff done because obviously it's my birthday. Could I have probably been a little bit thriftier about my birthday? Yes. Could I have been more conscientious about that? Yes. But I think I was just like in that mood of like, F it, it's already over and I'm already having to dip into this. Don't like deprive yourself to the point of, upsetness, I guess. And I was upset and I was in my feelings, and I was definitely trying to juggling staying on some kind of a budget and not being crazy, and celebrating and enjoying, and, not being upset that I was over, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Hi, Bianca. I'm so excited you made it. And we haven't even gotten into the Koku yet. So you're totally fine. I'm so glad you made it. So we're going to do the March flip through. Anything that you've missed up to this point has just been my budget planner and my kind of health and fitness that are new planners so far for this year. So you're not even really missing much. So But yes, March was really difficult in the like juggling act of my sanity. And just even my birthday, like we would typically go out of town. So it's funny for me to look at the amount of money that we spent. And I say we. The funnier part was that Jeff had bought dinner earlier in the week. And so I bought birthday dinner for the two of us that day. And he did end up cooking for me that day. He asked me what he wanted to know where I wanted to go to dinner on my actual birthday, and I really just wasn't in a birthday mood or mode. And I think all of that was interconnected. I think I also just, I'm so focused on bigger things than my birthday this year. Like I am focused on building this channel and what I want to do next with it and where I want to see it in 6 months, 9 months, a year, where I see my career, like my actual 9 to 5, how those two are going to merge, what I want to do. I call it my Hobbit birthday, which is really funny because what's running in the background is related to all that. I'm not going to tell you which Lord of the Rings or Hobbit movie, but it is like super low so that there's no way the cameras pick it up and I don't get this video booted because that has happened, and I would be really sad if that happened again. Definitely the volume was louder that time, but more or less I have bigger things on my mind and then just a birthday dinner. And all I wanted to do was go to Pont City and do some of my favorite things that keep me happy. And it was gross and it was rainy and it was a really long-winded day, but that was really the only thing that I did. So we're gonna get into March in all of its entirety. I'm super excited. Okie dokie. So we're gonna start off with the tracker page. So first thing I want to say that I found rather interesting about my tracker page, I didn't realize it wasn't complete until this morning. I had my cup of coffee and I was sitting at my coffee table and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a flip of all of these journals and make sure that they're freaking good to go, even though I know they're good to go. I've had like 3 freaking weeks to make sure they were good to go. Tracker not freaking completed. What the actual mess? What is happening? So like the 27th through the 31st needed me to like go back and look at everything. And as you can see, it's very empty because I don't know. I just like fell off the train and I had to like total all my percentages. I'm going to take a sip of wine and then we'll go through this loveliness. Okay. Yeah. That was an interesting sip and I swallowed weird. Okay, so the washi tape is from Jen Hadfield. It is from a birthday collection that she did ages ago, but it is Jen Hadfield. Either that, I want to say it is from her directly, and it's not part of Pebbles, which she also designs for. Okay, so addressing each task. So waking up at 5 a.m., 26%. I'm going to say that it had a lot to do, like, especially in this streak right here, I'm going to say it had a lot to do with, like, the injury, me not being in great place, birthday mode, all of that. I have no words, no idea, and I'm struggling with to keep it or not because it's not something I want to disregard, but it's definitely something I've fallen off of dramatically, and I want to get back on because I feel like when I was doing it, I was really efficient. Like I was getting so much more done in the morning before I went to work, but I also feel like it was biting me in the butt at the end of the day because I was really drained earlier. So still playing with that of how helpful / harmful it is. Power hour, 71%. I have trouble like matching the percentages to February, obviously, because there's an extra 3 days to account for. So compared to like January, that's actually down 3%. And then 10K steps, way down at 68 compared to 74 in January. Water, 32% to 55. That's crazy. yeah, my water intake has just been, I feel like my water intake's always a struggle, and it's because I feel like I have to pee 24/7. That's too much information. By the way, I had to pee so bad at the end of that Q2 setup because it was 2 straight hours and I was drinking wine and water, and yeah, I was about to lose. I literally was about to lose it and ready to get off that video for so many reasons. That was a long time to chat. Anyways, so I am trying to get better, and the last 3 days I've been successful to get all my water down, so I feel like I'm on the up and up. I feel like the fact too that I've realized that if I don't drink enough water, I'm not going to be able to have good runs, and I look forward to my runs. So I feel like, again, going back to the Atomic Habits comment that I made, make something appealing or make it unappealing based off if you want to do it or not. And in this case, it's more appealing to me to drink a bunch of water if I know I'm going to have smoother runs, because I'm always trying to get a better pace and I'm always trying to make sure that my big run is very effective. So that's good to think about. Calorie deficit, 39% compared to 16% in January and 21% in February. So I feel like that's actually really good. That's probably the highest it's been in a while. Obviously I had some pretty gluttonous days for birthday stuff. This was the last time that I decided to do dinner by 7 p.m. because I feel like more often than not, we're really good at it. And the days that we're not, it's really usually beyond our control. Like, it might be because I'm traveling to Jeff's and then helping cook, and even if I leave on time, I often don't get there until 5:30 or between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. And if I stop to get some groceries to help out with that, or I cook, it's very rare that everything is like on the table by 7. No sweets, 3%, no alcohol, 61%. Again, I'm really good about the no alcohol, and usually, in all honesty, I might have about 4 ounces with dinner. So even the bottle that I'm drinking now, I had 1 glass last night and 1 glass tonight, and the bottles are really small. So it's not a whole lot of wine at all. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that no alcohol is going to hang out for too much longer. I do want to challenge myself to a whole month of no alcohol and no sweets. And I think I've talked about that. So that'll be interesting, especially if I'm doing Wine Wednesdays, how that's going to translate. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so working out, 39% compared to 39% in January, so 31 days to 31 days. So I'm still on that rhythm, which I really like. I'm hoping to see a little bit of an increase in April. And I did talk about this in the Q2 setup, where now that I'm consistent with the 3 runs a week. So especially with the really big runs, it's usually it's 2 30-minute runs and a longer run. That longer run might be 3 miles, which is literally only 6 minutes longer. It's not very long. So you'll do 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 3 miles, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, really big run. So like my next one is going to be 11 miles. And I'm trying to, now that I've kind of got that rhythm and that cadence going and I've kept it up, I'm going to start trying to at least once a week tack on like an abs and arms to either a 30-minute run or squeeze it in on another day, like maybe a Thursday or something like that. So that's my goal. So I'm hoping to see some increases. I don't know that I'll ever see a month where I get to 100% because I don't know that that's exactly healthy either. And I haven't gotten up on my soapbox in a little while about how a habit tracker is not necessarily something you want to see 100% on in every category. A habit tracker is just that. It's a space to track that habit, whether it's good, bad, whether it's something you want to improve on or something you don't want to do. It's there to track it so that you can monitor month to month how that's going, and you can just be cognizant of it instead of, I know we all get on the resolution train and we're gonna, lose 10 pounds, but then we're not tracking that habit or how to make that goal happen. So I think that it's super helpful to do the percentages and also be a realistic person when it comes to setting up your habit trackers. I know I've talked about that a lot when it came to budgeting and how I got to a budget planner. That's kind of a whole different journey, but it all started with habit trackers and me trying to do no spends. Bedtime by 9 is really hard for me to track because more often than not, I'm in bed by 9. That kind of goes back to the dinner by 7. It has to be like a rare off thing for me to not be in bed by 9. So I feel like it's just not something that needs a space. Organizing, oh my gosh. So I've said it before, I'm trying to spend 10 minutes a day on larger projects, and just with workload and then not always being home, even that's proving to be difficult. So I'm really trying to address that as a problem more than anything. Because if I can't even work on some of these projects for 10 minutes, then I need to make better choices in my workflow and scheduling to allow for those things to happen. That's another reason I am such a huge supporter of habit trackers, because even the things that you're not improving on, it allows you to go a little bit deeper and say, hey, why is this not happening? Is this because I'm lazy and I'm not doing it, or is it because there's a blockage that I need to have a separate conversation with somebody, whether it's that your workflow is not supporting it or your scheduling. So in my case, a lot of times it's scheduling and workflow, and it means that I just have to be a little bit clearer and say, hey, I can be X, Y, and Z place, but I need to do this first, or I need to spend the day here so that I can get some things done, whatever the case may be. Tarot. So I'm starting to put my tarot in my weekly spreads, which we'll get to here shortly. And I absolutely love it. And I'm tracking my crystals there because I am contemplating having some sort of spiritual planner next year. But as it is with the budget planner, I'm kind of testing some things out for a year before I get to that point. So from here, we're going to flip on over. I don't know why that's there. I don't know why I took, that's so weird, why I took my tab, my little string tab out of the monthly thing where it belongs. Okay, so for March, I used the March kit from 2022 Coffee Monster Co. I love these smaller YouTube icons as opposed to these ginormous ones. I feel like it looks so much cleaner and little and cute, and then just doing that little dot. As you can see, there's some that are not filled in. They moved over to April, and I am fully intending on still delivering all that content. And I have said this already in some videos. It just might mean that there's double release days here and there. And I'm also, just to kind of give myself grace and maintain good mental health, I am not putting pen to paper as to where those double releases will happen. I think I did on the actual April spread, but I'm not even following my suggestions there anymore. But yes, 2 of the live streams got to happen, and then actually 3 because it was 5 weeks worth. So I missed the 15th and the 22nd due to the injury and just trying to get caught up. In terms of tasks, lots of things got migrated. Everything except for cleaning my apartment, which I kind of did in spurts. Obviously March content didn't get finished, and I started working on Q2 cards. But yeah, March was really hard in general. It was really full. It was really long. There was a lot happening, and the injury did not help matters. My workload didn't help matters. I feel kind of redundant and a broken record. And I know I said I was probably going to kind of sound post-traumatic-y, which is definitely nothing to joke about. But I definitely can tell I was just not in a really good headspace at all, because I really do enjoy doing the live streams. They bring me a lot of joy. Delivering consistent content brings me joy. I feel like it took me a really long time to get there. So when I fall off, like I beat myself up really bad about it, because I know that I look forward to the content creators that I follow. I look forward to their stuff. And I try to remember the way that I would be with them, which is I would handle it with grace and be like, oh my gosh, I hope you feel better. Like, don't feel this need to, like, compensate or rush to get everything out. And so I try to just remember that, like, what would I say to some of my favorite content creators? How would I want them to handle their stress levels? So I do the best that I can. And we just carry on. And I thank you guys so much for the support you give and how kind you are. It's amazing to me, and I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And I really look forward to everything that this channel is going to be and just the future of it all. I really have like high hopes and a lot of optimism towards it. So now we can get back to the spreads. So weekly spread number 1. So this is an Ali Brown washi tape that you can no longer get, and I'm really sad about it because I love seeing it in like my spring spreads. So I always try to kind of like sneak it in there and give it its own little week whenever I can. I just love the watercolor elements. It's absolutely beautiful, and I hate that you can't get it anymore. She's just kind of taking her business in another direction, but I love that washi and cherish it. And it's so funny to me for like the washis that I have that are from creators, and like, whether it's Coffee Monster Co. or Ali or James's or Job's Journal, stuff like that. I think it's really funny because it was before I was like, oh my God, what if I run out? It really wasn't until I got on board with Coffee Monster Co. where I was like, oh my God, what if I run out of this washi, and started buying multiple rolls. So I think that's really funny now, like looking back, like as much as I love this washi, if it were today, I would buy like 3 rolls of that, probably even more than that. And I have plan with me's for every single one of these weeks, I believe. I don't think that there's a week that I don't. I really don't. I'd be really surprised. So I go in depth to talk about everything. So all of the kind of like lime swatches would be shows that I'm watching, some fun things for this week that I love. I love any week where I get to do my little geotags. I think that's just one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, Bianca. You think back to like what your purchase habits were pre-Coffee Monster. I don't know whether to be ashamed at my carts and my packages right now, or be like, oh my God, if you could go back in time and tell yourself to buy more rolls of washi. But yes, this is super full. Another really fun thing that I love about this is that the Coffee Monster Co. 7th anniversary sale was this Friday, not Friday. It was that Sunday at 3 p.m. And there's a couple funny things about that. So number 1, normally her releases are at noon. So I was like rushing around trying to make sure I was like ready to go at noon. And then I was like, oh, I have like another 3 hours. It's noon Eastern time. I should have clarified that because I'm on the East Coast. So I thought that was super funny that I was like 3 hours ahead of schedule and had like my carts ready. And then my Ninja fingers didn't work. And so I ended up, and I could have been less frustrated about the matter. Truly, I could have, and separated out my carts and done everything a certain kind of way, but I really didn't think that was going to happen for some reason, and maybe that's why the universe did it to me. So I am actually in the my whole package is now a pre-order because I pre-ordered the washi box that she had. And so I have literally no idea when that's even gonna ship, because I don't even know when that pre-order washi's gonna get in. It could be like, I could get that package in June for all I know. So that's really interesting. And I'm fine with it. It is kind of like it's Lucky Charms theme. So by the time, even if I had been on time, I still wouldn't have gotten it probably until April. It is what it is, and I'm okay. I'm totally fine. And I think this is a really random Coffee Monster Co. side tangent, but I do feel like a lot of people have come over from that group or know about it because I use the stickers and stuff like that. But just to be, if you are a newbie in Coffee Monster Co. world, it's rough. It's rough and tumble there while you like kind of learn the ropes. And thank God the entire community could not be nicer and more helpful. And Helen is incredibly hands-on. And I'm gonna trash talk another shop just for 2 seconds because they're okay. And I'm not even going to say what shop it was. It's a very similar looking style and shop, and I do have product from them, and I am going to use that soon for some spreads. But I had two totally different experiences with both shopping, the communities, the customer service. Total polar opposite experiences, and that ended up being the only purchase that I've ever made from that shop, and it sucks because they have really cute stuff. Also, the way that they choose to sell, I didn't agree with. Bianca, literally, just if you feel like asking anything, it is very overwhelming. If you have any questions for me and you want to pop them in the chat, I will answer them as they come, or I'll hang out even a little bit longer and answer anything that you want. Feel free to direct message me both in the group or on Instagram or on here. I'm happy to answer all your questions that you maybe don't want to put on the board or get lost in the group. I'm happy to answer anything that you may have. So don't feel like you can't ask, because I'm super happy to answer anything because it is very overwhelming. And I don't want that to scare people either. But okay, one story at a time. We'll be here all night with the flips. But so I was really excited that this company was going to put out some product that I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with that particular genre. And I was really, really excited because I had missed product from Helen that was similar to this because it was pre my Coffee Monster days. So I felt really excited about it. And so I ordered it, and I thought I followed all the instructions correctly or very similarly to how like Coffee Monster Co. does like their codes and freebies and things like that. And then my order gets here, and some of the freebies weren't in there, and I was like, what the heck? And so I messaged them thinking it's like a oops thing, and they're like, no, you didn't do it like this, like that, whatever. I was like, okay. But like they could tell that I just didn't put it in the right place. And rather than just saying, hey, we know what you were trying to do, just remember for next time or something, it was just like a totally different experience. Another thing that I really like about Helen and her product, and I think this is super important if you are new, and how I said the Ninja Fingers thing. When I first started with Helen, this was not a feature. So I've been with Helen now, I say with, like as though we're in like, I feel like I'm in a committed relationship with Helen and Coffee Monster Co. I really do sometimes, because Lord knows I've spent enough on it. Some people have spent far more. I think someone in the group recently, I'm pretty sure they bought the whole shop. The way that they posted how many points they got, I'm about 1,000% sure they purchased one of everything that was available, which is wow. What are you doing for a day job? That was rude to say. I should not say that. I take that back. I think that's great if that's how she wants to spend her money, and I am all here for Stella supporting Helen so that she can keep doing what she needs to do so that I can continue to have cute stickers. So no shade, but super jealous there for a minute. Jealousy Green Monster came out. But when I first started with Helen, if you didn't have Ninja Fingers, you were kind of SOL. And you would have to wait until like overstocks came or something like that. And then I don't know what it was, like what release it was, but she basically set it up to where once the open stock sold out, it automatically flipped to pre-order so that nobody got left out. The only way you would get left out of getting a product at that point is if you did not make it in the sale window, which is normally with Helen several days. Like it's not, 24 hours or anything like that. It is typically for 48 to 72 hours, even the pre-sale. And I want to say that this feature kind of maybe started to birth itself out of the pre-sale itself. So I think it's June when the pre-sale, washi pre-sale happens. I'll have to go back and look at my notes. But the washi pre-sale, the way that it works is you have like an entire week. And it's also stamps at that time too. Like there's other products, but I'm a washi whore. So I am here for all the rolls of her washi that I can get my hands on in a sane manner. I'm not reselling on Etsy. I'm not trying to make $1 off of her designs. I just want to have enough washi to use until, or in case it's never like redone. I also would like to get to a point where I can gift some to other people that are newbies or people that just haven't been around for a while or missed out on stuff, or, as you kind of get those collections rolling, all of that. I just want to be comfortable in how much I have. I don't want to steal from other people. I don't want to make money off of her creation that she worked her butt off for. And I don't want to feel like a ticket scalper is like the thing. So, I buy an appropriate amount for me to use, which can be anywhere from 2 rolls. This last Q1 subscription, I only got 1. I wasn't greedy. I wanted to just see what it was about. And that being said, I will be ordering 2 this time around because it's manageable and I can do that. And the 2 themes, like I know that the witchy theme, I'm gonna hoard if I only have 1 of, and there's a better chance at me actually using my damn product. But the point being that it kicks over into pre-sale. And at that point, you have however long her time period is to get your order in. And I love this because you don't have to have ninja fingers. There have only been a couple times where I have felt the need to have ninja fingers, and that is like in anything that's themed. So like the Halloween and the Christmas washi, I was like sitting on ready, and I was like, that's the only thing I'm trying to check out with. And she's also smart enough to she's listened to us. She's actually in the group chats. She's very engaged with her audience and her customer base, and she cares so much about making sure our experience is good. So if something goes wrong, she is so quick to be on it logistically and make sure that everybody can get it. And I think that that's incredible. As a small business owner, that's really hard to do, to straddle that line of selling and making things accessible, and when you have a small space. So she doesn't have her big warehouse yet, so it takes money. You got to spend money to make money. Wow, I need to be sponsored with this tangent, but I feel like you guys get the point that I love Coffee Monster Co. for a lot of moral reasons, not just super cute effing stickers. So there's that. I feel like I've chatted enough about that. Some other cool things that happened that week was Jen, my coworker, was in town, so we got to go to dinner together, which is really funny because I took her there because I was like, oh my God, you have to try this beer cheese that you dip your French fries into because it's the best freaking thing. I just love it. And I wanted to get takeout from there the other day and went to order it online so that I could just pick it up, which I never do. but for some reason was gonna do. It was actually last week. Oh my God, that's so funny, because I wanted to pick it up so I could get on the way home and eat it before Wine Wednesday. And it wouldn't let me pick the cheese. And I was like, why? Why is it saying out of stock? Like, what is this? And so I called and I was like, hey, is this real? Like, or did it just, like, is this a glitch in the system? They were like, actually, we don't have beer cheese on the menu anymore. I thought I was gonna cry. That poor teenage girl on the phone probably thought I was a loon. And that was okay, but I was having a moment. But Disney Bounding also started that week. So I was starting to post all of my Disney Bounds, which was really fun. So this is really cool. My Padme was that weekend, which I had been wanting to do a Padme bound for ages. So the next week, Disney Bounds are continuing. I used my Alice in Wonderland washi from James Burke Creative. You cannot get this one anymore either, because he came out with them from Virtual Voyage. And if you look really close in some of the Virtual Voyage washis, I don't think it's in this one. There's sometimes like pictures of him and his husband, which are really funny. And he's the first one to tell you he just wanted washi that had him in it, but I thought that was always so cool. But these are basically scanned pages from his journal, all really pretty collaged together to make a cool washi. That is literally how I just started to feel all the time. And if I could have just a sheet of those. Oh, I was like, what is that screaming and battle cries? Because I live off the highway, so I thought it was like an accident, but it was definitely my television in the background. I believe a battle has begun. Anywho, but yes, another, oh my gosh, so hilarity. There's so many. I think I enjoy Coffee Monster Co stickers that I can do for funny things more than anything in the world. So funny moments. Panic Day, I don't even think that that was actual Panic Day. It was, but that was definitely how I felt. I love this cow. It's part of the summer emojis. So I call my mom Mother Heifer. She coined it a long time ago because she used to dress up for the Chick-fil-A Cow Appreciation Day. Because back in the day, you had, if like, dependent on the degree of cow that you were dressed up as, dependent on what you got for free. So like, you might get a free fry, you might get a free ice cream cone, whatever. But if you went in full cow, full on cow, like face paint, cow suit, the whole thing, you'd get a free meal. My mom would hit like 3 or 4 Chick-fil-A's, and it cracked me up because all she would do really is eat the fries all day. I don't know. I think she did switch out for like fruit cups every once in a while, but she would like eat the fries and put all the nuggets in the fridge, and it would just be so hilarious. So freaking hilarious. And she didn't just do it for free food, just to clarify, but my mom and I are so similar and so wild and crazy. And I'm laughing at the fact that like her birthday is in the middle of an entire month of me dressing up as different Disney characters. So color me the hypocrite. But basically, she would also, it was really cute because she'd be in like full on cow, and then these little kids would be there, and she would just be so kind to them, and she would moo at them. So she just became Mother Heifer. And it was also really funny because we'd be in a department store or something, and rather than me scream mom along with like every other kid in the damn store, I would like moo, and she would find, you know, like we'd find each other by that. All right, Mother Heifer was a whole lot more hilarious to yell than mom. So that's my fun side tangent story. Also, I got to use my spring forward, and I really thought that I was going to forget about it because they're only on my like little freebie sheets. I know a lot of people are asking to have like full sheets of them made, but I kind of like that they're just on the freebies, because then I can get like, I mean, I can only use them once a year. I don't need a whole sheet. I'd never run out. This washi is another one from James Burke Creative, and you can actually still get it. I think his shop might be on vacation because I think he's on a cruise with his husband right now, but it's super cute. So it's all these like Disney doodles. And again, I'm Disney bounding this month, so it was a great time for me to like dig into my stash and pull out my Disney stuff. This looks really bare in comparison comparison because this is when like the hit the fan more or less. So work is crazy. I have terrible neck pain. I can't do my journals. I can't look down. I'm freaking out because while I had prepped a lot of content ahead of time in various categories, I was going to run out if I didn't like get my crap back together. It literally took me 3 days to watch Cruella. If that gives you any indication as to how I had no time to do anything, like anything at all. But I will say there were some really cute moments that I'd like to, give them their credit where it was due. And I actually posted this spread in the group today. And again, reasons I freaking love Coffee Monster Co., Taters, and Peeps. Because so many people commented on that, or not, I mean, like, I'm not going to be dramatic. A lot of people, including Helen, I haven't read hers yet because I got the alert, like, right as I was getting onto the live. But she even commented on it because I had such a bad mental health week. And I always, like, am happy that Helen, like, talks about mental health and mental health awareness and just is really honest on, like, good days and bad days. And I feel like that's helped me be really honest. And one thing I talk about on this channel a lot is just being genuine and being real, and that some weeks are not going to be filled in. They're not going to be pretty. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Just turn the page and start again. The way that your planner looks now will look nothing like your planner in 5 years. And that's okay. So much is going to change. So like, just super important to just be kind to yourself and enjoy the ride, for real. But anyone that commented on it was so kind and like, I'm so sorry you had a bad week. Your spread looks great. So, it's okay that you had to cancel, like just being so kind. And that helps me feel so much better because I was really upset. And that leads me to one of the sweetest things of the week. So I was at the office and I had gotten there early, hoping that I could leave on time so that I could make it to the live stream. And because of how being there early and looking down at the computer screens, I was like, my neck was in so much pain by this point. Like I was at the point of tears. I had already had the massage, but now I'm sore from the pain and the massage pain. And I'm hungry and I'm realizing that I'm going to have to leave late and that I'm not going to have time to eat. And my boyfriend was like, it's okay. Like, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. Like, if your audience really cares about you, like you care about them, you can tell them the truth and take the night off and take care of yourself. And so I did. And I was really sad and I was really bummed. And he told me, he was like, there's like local restaurant that's easier for me to go to if I'm at the office. It cuts about 15 minutes off the trip there. And he was like, go get your pasta. You've been talking about it for a couple days. Like, go get it. You'll feel better. You'll be happy. And he was right. And so I wrapped things up at the office and headed over, and I got to the parking lot, and as I was walking in the restaurant, I could see his truck in the parking lot, and he was waiting at the bar for me. And I talk about this in this plan with me too, but I thought that was the sweetest thing. And what I didn't know is he had been there for like a whole hour before I even got there, because he wasn't going to tell me. Like, he knew I was like not in a good way, and that I had to pull the cord and I stayed late and all these things. Like, so he had kind of expected that I would be there earlier, but he just wanted to make sure that he was there when I got there. And I thought that was the sweetest thing in the whole world. And that meant so much to me, that like he was there to like be supportive, knowing I was sad and I was hungry and in pain and just super bummed about having to cancel it. And that was just really nice. Another really awesome thing that happened was my order that was packed by Fiona arrived, and it was actually my shop credit order. So Helen also gives out shop credits at the beginning, like it's like the end of every month really, but it's just like her way of saying thank you if you're like in the groups a lot and you're sharing, answering people's questions, posting content, just being active in the group, and showing support. And that's just her way of saying thank you back. So that was really cool to get that order in. And it was super small. It was nothing like super crazy because it's a $10 shop credit. So that's about 3 sticker sheets or so if you think about it. And I think I forgot to use my discount code that week too. So this week is my birthday week and things were calming down a little bit. I was definitely feeling a little bit better and Ostara started. And I was really excited because Ostara was gonna take me all the way through my birthday and spring equinox. And my boss had actually given me my birthday off, which was really unexpected, and I didn't have any plans, so it was really nice to have the day. I like baked my own birthday cake. I watched Fantasia and Sorcerer's Apprentice and stuff like that, and just kind of got a little bit of catch up done. And I really didn't push myself really hard because my tarot was also like, if you decide that you're gonna go like balls to the wall, we're gonna basically make it harder and rougher on you. So how about you like take a load off and chill out? And that ended up being why I took that Wednesday off instead of making like the mad dash to like try to squeeze that in. I really wanted to like relax, and that ended up being really good because it let me have a nice long birthday / Ostara with Jeff and really enjoy that. And again, all of these plan with me's are already up on the channel, so you can check them out too if you want to see kind of like how these spreads came together instead of just the flip through. Another cute thing that happened that week is I got happy mail from my wifey from a million miles away in California, and she had just sent me this super cute like hand-painted envelope with little goodies she had picked up in another part of California, which was really cute. I got to use my Black Widow sticker, which was fun. This week was really cool. I'm trying to think of anything else. I feel like I've been really extra chatty. We had a birthday lunch for his grandfather, which was really nice. This is the last spread, and then I'll shut up. Oh, I won't, because I do want to show you guys something before I forget. I did talk about it a little bit in the Q2 setup, but I want to show you that. And then Bianca, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and start popping them in the chat. Or like I said, seriously message me day or night. I'm a pretty early riser, and I will get back to you way faster if you like message me or put something up than if you put it up in the group, probably. But I love a good rainbow week. I love a rainbow week that bring me joy abound. I freaking love them, especially a Coffee Monster Co. rainbow week. And I remember I saw Helen do a rainbow week, and after that, it literally became my #1 mission to get a washi of hers in every single color, so that I could do a rainbow week. That was like all I was focused on. And then I remember when I finally got like my first pre-order, like washi pre-order, and I had more options, and then the advent came and that was more options. I'd laugh every time I do one and think back to like the first one. Actually, is my planner... I want to see what my first rainbow week looked like. Since we're just here to chat and we're having a good time, I really want to see what that was. Okay. Oh, wait, what's that one? This one's it. I know it was like really late in the year. Okay, this is it. So this was June into July. I finally got to do my first line. And every single one of these washi's was found on Etsy. I had to wait and get them from Etsy. I remember that. And then by this point, yeah, these are actually where I start having my own rolls. So that had come from Pippi Plans, I think. I already had my rolls finally from them. And then I bought the classic emojis was the first one I bought from Helen. This is really fun. I never really like thought to go through these. this is when I finally have the pre-order, because all of these I think were pre-order washies. Like I think this was out of the Seasons washi at that point. I know we don't want to sit here and flip through every single one, but yeah, I think that was kind of like a couple more like happen maybe, but yeah, it took a while, but I think that was like, again, I'm a washi whore, so like to look back at them and how different they are is really great. So this is from the Advent. That was the pre-order, that was pre-order, that was pre-order, that was Advent, pre-order, pre-order, pre-order. Yes, super cute. And obviously I like even themed the rows. I keep saying I'm gonna do, I think I forget about it almost every single time. While I do tend to match them, I also don't get super technical. Like obviously a taco is more yellow. This would have been more yellow. Lots of tacos were happening. Stuff like that. It's not sometime like, and I think in her particular spread, like she was really strict. She only used like pink stickers in that row. And I think I did that in the early ones, but I always forget by the time I'm in like the throes of the actual week. So that was really, really fun. Some other really cute things about the week were finishing my first Disney Bound challenge, 31 straight days of posts. Even though I had shot a lot of it in February before I even colored my hair, and I had been trying to stay ahead of it, it was still down to the wire. Because of the neck injury and not being able to do a lot and being in a lot of pain with that. I know that sounds weird, but like I basically hurt for over a week from start to finish, and that made just everything really difficult. So I was just trying to get it in when I could. And if I was doing hair and makeup, like trying to do at least 2 of the bounds in a day, and this is in between like trying to work or trying to clean the house or go to Jeffrey's. Like playing dress up in the middle of the day is not always as relaxing as it would sound. There were some really fun days, but yeah. And we'll probably look at this spread again in April, just because April started here. But Day in the Life with Ali Edwards was also on the first, which was really fun. I had my 9-mile run. On Sunday, Jeff and I went to a restaurant that's pretty local to him that I've been wanting to go to for a while. And y'all, it was so good. It was the messiest hamburger I think I've ever eaten in my life, but it was worth every napkin. And then I came home and I did like a buttload of self-care. Like I had some knee pain, as to be expected from a 9-mile run. And then I took a bath with a bath bomb and read my book. And I actually finished a book and kept working on a new one, I think. And I did a face mask, and my face took a toll in March. And like, oh my gosh, I need to take better care of my under eyes. I can't even. So that is the April spreads. There's nothing new in the back of the book to report from last week, like no updates or anything. Really, the only thing that I did was update my cleaning chart a little bit because I went through this planner. But what I wanted to show you guys is the money plan sheet. I'm actually filling it in, and my categories are pretty okay. I've been a little bit apprehensive about sharing this because I feel like everybody is at different places in their money journey and all of that. So I'm going to well, I guess it really doesn't matter because you can back it up and pause it if you want to. But I'm tracking like my rent, my utilities, phone and insurance, subscriptions, credit card payments, groceries, takeout, clothes, entertainment, gas, medical bills, hobby and crafts, car maintenance, Binks's stuff, gifts, beauty, my salary, extra, and savings. what I really want to call attention to with that is it goes back to the tracking. Before you start making willy-nilly goals of how much you want to save and what you want to do and all this, that you kind of need to know where you're at and what you're spending it on, because a lot of people, at least with me, you'd be really surprised what you think you spend on something and when that you actually do. And I mean that in both ways. I ended up canceling pretty much all of my subscriptions that were craft related because I knew moving into 2023 I wanted to focus on spiritual and Coffee Monster Co. Like, those are things that bring me joy. Those are things that I don't necessarily like get and push to the background. Like, they get used. And especially with the spiritual boxes that I'm getting, it's themed around each Sabbath. So it's really, or Sabbath. Why did I say it like that? Each Sabbath. And so it's educational for me too, because there's like a workbook and I'm still kind of establishing like that journey. And it's super helpful to get that box. And I'm actually really excited because my one for Beltane got here today and I'm really tempted to rip the box open on the live, but I'm not going to do that. But more or less, I'm being more conscious about where the money is going. And like, if I've got like a really heavy takeout month, but my groceries are really low, then I'm not really beating myself up. The main goal is just to track what I'm actually spending, what I'm spending it on, and it helps to have those categories because I do want to change those up a bit. And I know I've talked about this when I did the quarterly setup originally, like way back at the end of last year. I really want to focus on changing some purchases to quarterly based. I do like that concept. So like with Banks's stuff, quarterly, medical, semi-annually, and being able to save for those pockets rather than it having to come out of like the emergency quote unquote funds or money that I've set aside for those kind of incidentals. Like, I want them to have their own folder separate instead of like in a collective group. I feel like that made sense, but let me know if it didn't. But yeah, like buying things in bulk a little bit better, both with cleaning supplies and things that I keep on hand more regularly. Like, I would love to even get to a point like where when I was a kid, my grandparents, we used to shop for like a month. We would go to the commissary on base and we would shop for an entire month. And of course, like, you can't buy milk for an entire month. Like, so we'd still go into town and we would get like milk and eggs and like perishables, or if we needed something for a particular style of dinner. But for the most part, the bulk of the shopping was done one day out of the month, and it was insane. And I grew up doing that and watching her do that, and so it definitely has helped me be a better meal planner, and it's also helped me be like a better with like money and like kind of grouping things together to make them easier. The other page I was going to show you is where I'm tracking like the shows and movies I'm watching. I've actually filled it in. It's all the way up to date to even today. Obviously I'm going to fill this in before the end of the year, and I'm going to have to create like a new chart, but I feel like that's going to be really easy to do. And there's actually I'll probably end up using this promise section because I don't know what else. This has become my list of books that I want to read. And if you guys have recommendations for shows or books, please put them on the community tab or in the videos. I love getting suggestions and recommendations. And when I get to them, I can get to them because some of these might take a while. But yeah, I'm super happy. Like I said, I finished a book. So there have been some changes in this front section, which I'm really excited about. Like new things to the list or things I've finished, new books I'm reading, etc. But I hope you guys had a wonderful time flipping through and having a nice, very much longer chat than anticipated with me. Next week, we're going to be doing the May plan with me, and I'm really excited because the entire month is going to be themed the same way because I am a nerd and I'm really excited about it. But we will leave that for next week, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. Again, catch me over in the Facebook group for Coffee Monster Co. I am trying to catch up on posts there for the month of March, so you'll be seeing some of these posts over there. And if you have questions, let me know. Whether you're Bianca or anybody else, please feel free to ask me anything. I'm happy to help where I can, whether it's in the group or over here. If you guys have suggestions for anything you'd like to see on a live stream, also let me know that. After next week, I'm going to take a little break and just kind of get my bearings. And that's one thing that we're not at yet is regular live streams. So I can take a little peek and see when I'm thinking of doing one again. I'm gonna pull this off all secret like. I think I'm hoping to go to do them in June. Bye. See you next time, Bianca. But yes, I think the next ones after this batch are going to be in June. So I'll see you guys then too. But thank you guys. Bye. Have a great night.